Hello all. Really nice morning here in California, bright, sunny. Another summer day here in fall. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about was a couple things. One, of course, is what's happening here in the US. The investigation of the Russia matter, which of course is going to lead into corruption throughout the country. Every single one of these politicians in office, regardless of whether they call themselves a D or an R, are now vulnerable to probe. And if you think that this stuff that they're uncovering with this investigation has only to do with the right wing, you're absolutely wrong. The Democrats, Hillary, the whole mess, it's all together in one big cesspool. And guess what? This is day 2, and they've uncovered a lot. So let's go back a ways. Before the campaign started for 2016, when the Pink Barrio was warning everybody that Donald Trump had ties with the mafia, you know, the gang here in the US, the Wall Street gang, the banker gang, the military-industrial complex. It's all together. It's right there floating in the swamp. No, it's not just the Orange Man. The Orange Man's at the heap of it, and it looks as if things go right, the Orange Man could be facing a death penalty for treason against the U.S. Now, I warned you guys of this over and over and over again. I said, you can't doing these horrible measures to cut welfare for the poor, welfare for the elderly, and for the hurt and the people that can't take care of themselves. Just recently, they have slaughtered Medicaid and Medicare with $1.5 trillion in cuts to both these programs. That is going to put a lot of older people, a lot of sick people on the streets. It's sickening, and I've said this over and over. This guy has an agenda. See, and they were so arrogant about their criminality. Well, now they're starting to get a little worried. Well, you guys ought to be. The swampus door has just been opened, and it is flowing with sewage. And if you think that this corruption started with the Orange Man, you're wrong. This corruption that we're in was started in the second administration of the Clintons. And by the time it got to Bush, the swamp was filling quickly. Of course, it went down. Each president after that filled the swamp and then put in more entanglements with the gang members, making sure that all the money throughout the world went to the top 1%. Then the alarm bells rang and Occupy started. That's the first time we really noticed the corruption. And then Occupy was depressed by the cops, silenced by the oligarchy here in the US. But it doesn't stop there. More and more of us get so pissed off because we watch this on a daily basis and see that the country we live in is just going to the cesspool. White hate of nationalism and outright fascism is starting to show its head throughout the US in places, if you just look a little bit. Mueller was pissed off with this and put an end to it, I hope. Hopefully, this won't be the end. And by the way, for those that say that Pence is going to take over, you're wrong. Pence is having the same issues. He was in the gang. He's part of the email scandal with Russia and the Clintons. The cesspool started going after each other. They started going after the Clintons started going after them. They all got wrapped up in their own corruption and web of deceit. But now, on the second day of this investigation open to the public, and this is only what they're letting us know, any direction that Mueller wants to go, he could go and find corruption, leading to banks and Wall Street, the military-industrial complex, speaking of which is the next part of this video, the military-industrial complex. So the second thing I wanted to talk to you about was the military-industrial complex is extremely busy right now. Let's talk about what's happening on the Korean Peninsula. 3 fully equipped battle aircraft carriers, fully operational, ready to go, with multiple ships around them, destroyers. I forget all the other names. All the names of the battleships, I haven't been around it so long I don't remember. There's this many troops in South Korea. There are this many troops in Japan. And there's a buildup of this many troops in Guam. That is an attack force, fully armed, ready to go. Equipment has been pouring to these places for some time now. This attack has been planned and will take place before the winter. The Korean Peninsula's winters are vicious, 40 below zero with a high wind in the mountainous areas, which is most of the north. I did an extensive study on the Korean Peninsula, both the very early history all the way up until present. Very interesting situation, but it is not being handled in a very good way right now. It's being handled as if somebody's against the U.S. and is trying to get away of destroying the U.S., whether it's covertly or through military action, by pissing off so many people that you end up having a huge force sent against you. But hopefully this Mueller investigation is going to quell all this crap and put a lid, somewhat of a lid, on the swamp. A very holy lid and leaky, but it's a beginning. And as pissed off as these guys are from the crap that they've had from the Orange Man regime here in the U.S., I think he's going to go all the way to the top, don't you? So I think that if we do not see an attack within the next week or so, I don't think one will be coming. I think they'll have to wait till spring. But you never know. There's so much desperation right now in the whole administration. I hate to call it that. The top of the gang family here in the U.S. is in deep trouble if the FBI decides to go for it all. There's enough there to fill 20,000 years of convictions, probably. All of Wall Street, all of the bankers, military-industrial complex, big pharma, get them all. We've had enough of this, haven't we? So, let me know your thoughts on all this. And thanks for all the comments in the last videos. The last video, it got a little heated in places, but I think people's feelings are coming out. So, I appreciate all the ups and the downs and the new subscribers. And until next time.